A photo of a mysterious Chinese naval vessel is being widely circulated online, and the unusual image is raising many questions about what exactly Beijing is building. The purpose and detailed design of this trimaran-hulled craft, which is believed to be operating in waters near Guangzhou, are currently unknown and remain the subject of intense speculation. However, some visible details in the image suggest that the vessel may be fully or nearly fully submersible, hinting at a hybrid concept that blurs the line between ship and submarine. The widely shared photo indicates that the craft could be as much a submarine as a surface vessel, with its very low profile and sleek lines reinforcing that impression. The exact date of the photograph is unknown, but analysts believe it was taken at the Huangpu shipyard, one of China's key naval construction facilities. One possible feature of the vessel, highlighted by defense journalist Alex Luck, is what appears to be a propulsor unit at the rear, suggesting a focus on quiet and efficient underwater propulsion. In the viral photograph, the vessel is seen as painted black, with depth marks on the bow and sail. It has a slender shape, with a 210-foot-long body. It may have a propulsor, pointing to pump jet feature which is considered advantageous over traditional propellers. The hybrid ship may be able to reach higher speeds without noisy cavitation. There is no clarity yet on whether the vessel is crewed or uncrewed. One of the most persistent theories about the craft is that it could be an arsenal ship, designed primarily to carry a large load of missiles rather than perform traditional multi-role missions. Over the years, there have been repeated rumors that China was developing a vessel of this kind, aimed at significantly boosting the missile firepower of its surface fleet. In theory, an arsenal ship could provide additional magazine depth for conventional surface combatants, giving destroyers and frigates access to far more missiles in a conflict. Such a ship could be built as an uncrewed, hard-to-detect platform that stays low in the water and then briefly emerges to launch missiles before disappearing again. Crucially, there is still no firm evidence of a vertical launch system on the trimaran's deck, which would normally be needed for an arsenal ship to store and fire large numbers of missiles. A vertical launch system, or VLS, is a grid of vertical cells built into a warship's hull and is used for holding and firing a variety of missile types directly upwards. Naval analyst H.I. Sutton has suggested that the vessel could instead be intended as a mothership for drones, acting as a mobile base to deploy and recover unmanned vehicles. Another theory being discussed is that, rather than drones, the craft might be configured to carry soldiers or special forces, allowing stealthy insertion close to contested shores. It is also possible that the trimaran vessel is primarily a testbed for future technologies, giving China's Navy a platform to experiment with new hull forms, sensors, and propulsion concepts. One of China's most advanced known warships is also making headlines at the same time, adding to the sense of rapid naval modernization. The Sichuan, a drone-capable amphibious assault ship, is believed to have departed from the Hudong-Zhonghua shipyard on November 28 for another round of sea trials. If that report is accurate, this would mark Sichuan's second sea test in just 2 weeks, coming shortly after its maiden trial voyage. The Sichuan is China's first Type 076 amphibious assault ship, a large platform built and berthed at a Shanghai shipyard and designed to operate helicopters and a wide range of drones. Sichuan's first sea trial reportedly lasted for about 3 days, focusing on testing the reliability and stability of the warship's engines and basic systems under real conditions. The tight schedule of back-to-back trials suggests a rapid march toward formally commissioning the ship into service, according to analysis carried by the South China Morning Post. If progress continues at this pace, the Sichuan could reportedly be commissioned by the end of next year, which would be just 2 years after its initial launch from the yard. The news of Sichuan's trials was reported by the South China Morning Post amid rising tensions with Taiwan and growing concern about China's amphibious capabilities. The Sichuan is expected to be used in large-scale amphibious operations, potentially including any future attempt to mount an assault on Taiwan's coastline. Fears that China may be preparing concrete options for an invasion or blockade of Taiwan have strengthened in recent weeks as rhetoric and exercises around the island have increased. Chinese President Xi Jinping strongly raised the reunification principle in a recent phone call with Donald Trump, stressing that Taiwan must eventually be brought under Beijing's control. Beijing also reacted sharply after Japan warned it might join a war to defend Taiwan, condemning Tokyo's statements as provocative and destabilizing.
This year marks the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese people's war of resistance against Japanese aggression, the 80th anniversary of Taiwan's restoration to China, and also the 82nd anniversary of the Cairo Declaration. The series of international legal documents, including the Cairo Declaration, are major outcomes of the World Anti-Fascist War. From the perspective of international law, these documents explicitly define China's sovereignty over Taiwan and constitute an important component of the post-war international order. Complying with these relevant provisions is an international legal obligation that Japan must pay. The erroneous remarks made by Japanese Prime Minister Sonai Takeichi on Taiwan interfere in China's internal affairs, send a wrong signal to Taiwan's separatist forces, and undermine peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait. We urge the Japanese side to deeply reflect on its historical guilt, retract the erroneous remarks, stop interfering in China's internal affairs, take concrete actions to strictly observe the One China principle and honor its political commitments to China.
Tokyo has said that any use of force against Taiwan would be a survival-threatening situation for Japan, language that allows for expanded military responses under its security laws. Beijing continues to view Taiwan as an integral part of China that must be reunited, by force if necessary, if peaceful means fail to achieve that goal. The United States officially adheres to the One China policy, which does not support formal Taiwanese independence and recognizes Beijing as China's government. However, US law obliges Washington to provide Taiwan with the means to defend itself, which has led to ongoing arms sales, training, and expanding security cooperation with Taipei.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.